Okay, we're still working in the same chapter, structures that control flow. The second lesson out of here is going to look at decision structures, and we're going to be looking at the if statement, the if-else statement, the if-else statement for making decisions. Okay, and I'm going to just do a couple of examples out of the text, and we could do lots of other things here. I'm on page 408, and I'm looking at example number 1 here. And in this particular example, it shows a flow chart, which we've examined earlier. It's one way to kind of document an algorithm. And we're going to ask the user to enter in 2 numbers. And then we're going to compare and see if one number is greater than the other. So very simple exercise. I'm going to save this, which I haven't done yet. I think everybody has their own organization method. I have a folder set up for this course, and I have something in here for code. All right. And so this is, I'm working with lesson 5.7 here, I believe. Right. So, and let's write some code. Right. So I'm going to ask our user to enter in a couple numbers. Number 1. And remember, we have the input statement, right? And I'll get to the eval statement in just a second. So I'll say enter. All right. Now, if you notice here, we've used the eval statement. And when we want to get a number in, we can have a floating number, a floating point number, a integer, or if we're not quite sure what somebody's going to put in, we'll use the eval statement. So we have the eval statement going. And we'll create a second one here. This will be number 2. I'm going to do a little shortcut here and just do a copy and paste. I'm going to ask somebody to enter in a second number. That'll be number 2. And we want to do a comparison. We'll use the if statement to do that. And so we'll state here, if num1 is greater than num2, right? And then the syntax for this is we put a colon, and these will be the lines we execute if that statement is indeed true, if that condition is true. All right, so if num1 is greater than num2, we're going to say, I'll change this a little bit from what they have here. I'm going to say print the first number is larger. And let's put an else statement in here. Okay, so we'll say else. Again, the syntax here, I put a full colon. And then this indents, and I'll say print the second number is larger. All right, my logic isn't exactly true there because the 2 could, I guess, be equal, but it should work. All right, and anytime I move that indent back, that means where the else statement stops. All right, so nice simple example here. Let's go ahead and compile and run it. Remember, Control S is save and F5 is run. All right, so it starts it. I'll enter a number in. So my first number will be 10, and my second number will be 12. And the second number, of course, is larger. And when we're testing software, it's nice to look at, a number of different scenarios here. So I should probably test what happens if the first number is larger. So I'll put a 10, 12 here, and a 10. I'm just checking to make sure my code works, right? And I indicated our logic here has an error in it because if I put 2 numbers in, it'll say the second number is larger, which is really not true. Okay, so let's go back. We'll do one more example here. All right, so let's correct that. So we have one other. We looked at if statement, if else, and now let's look if, elif, and then else. All right. So what happens when those 2 numbers are equal? Well, that would be the last case. All right. I need to put a little more logic in here. We'll do that. I want to somewhere along the line say, what happens when these 2 numbers are the same? I'll go ahead and do that. But my else if has a little different syntax to it. So my else if, I need to say, well, what's this other case? All right. So I'll say if the two numbers, we'll just switch this around. What happens if num1 is less than num2? Okay, then the second number is going to be larger. And then the third case will be the catch-all. That's the last one that happens. So number 1 is not greater than number 2. Number 1 is not less than number 2. Then we'll go ahead and execute that last line. All right, so we do that. So I'll look at this case. What if the two are the same? And we find out that we've covered that as well. All right.